And even if there are duplicates, it is still possible. Like even if the string was something like ABCA and the other string was BAAC, let's say, even in that case it is possible to just rearrange the characters as BAAC or rearrange this as ABCA. So these are also anagrams. And we have been told that we will be given a string S. We will be given a string S, which is formed by concatenation of some string T. So it is something like T plus T plus T multiple times the string T. And you got S. Let's say you concatenated it K times. And you got the string S. And like maybe we have T1, T2, T3, maybe TK. And all of these strings T1, T2, T3 till TK, all of these are anagrams of each other. These have to be anagrams of each other. Anagrams. So we have to tell the minimum possible length of any string T. Minimum possible length of string T such that all of these strings T1, T2, T3, Tk are anagrams of each other and they form string K, string S. Let's take one example. If you have something like ABBA, for the string ABBA, you can just have AB as the string T. So AB and the other one is an anagram of the other one. Similarly, for CDEF, if you see, there is no string smaller than 4 which uh, can satisfy the condition which we were being given. Like there is no other string other than CDEF itself. So the answer earlier was 2 here, and here the answer is 4. Right now, we don't have any idea about the string T. Like we just know that if we combine some anagrams of the string T till Tk, then we should get S. We know about the length of S, we know about the string S, but we don't have any idea about this K, and we don't have any idea about these string T1, T2 and anything. So just to make the uh, problem simple for now, let's assume that if we knew about the value of K, or let's say that the length of the string T, let's say the length of the string T is M. So if we know about the value M, or if we know about the value K, anybody, if we know about the value of any one of them, then can we do something? Try to think about it. Like we have very limited knowledge right now. We have very limited knowledge being given in the problem. So let's just look at the most obvious things which we can do here. So I think that this one makes sense. Let's say if you fix the value of M, the length of the string T, then you know that the number of times you combine the string, basically concatenate the strings or anagrams of the string T, will be equal to N by M. You know that M into K should be equal to N. So you already know about N. You already know about N. If you fix this M, then you will get the value of K as well. And let's say if you have fixed the value of M, then you know that the string T must be an anagram of the first M characters. Like let's say that these are the first M characters. So can you just easily now check for all the strings of length M, basically partition the string into K, uh, basically just partition the string into N by M substrings, non-overlapping substrings of length M each. such that every string is having the length m, and just calculate the frequency of all of these strings. If all the strings are having the same frequency for each and every character, then it is possible to have the first, like the substring of the prefix of length m as an anagram. Basically, m can be the answer. Okay, let me just go back. There is something I should have discussed here. If you have been given two strings s and t and you want to check if these two are anagrams of each other or not, then what you can do is just calculate the frequency of each and every character in string s. Let's say that fric of s is a vector of integers, which will tell about the frequency of each and every character here. It should be equal to fric of t. If both of these things are equal, then in that case s and t are anagrams, otherwise they are not. This is a very standard thing, and it is pretty obvious. If the frequencies of all the characters are equal to each other, then obviously you can just rearrange the elements in such a way that string s can be rearranged to become t. And in case if the frequencies of any of the characters are not equal to each other, then it is obviously not possible to rearrange string s to make it equal to string t. So in this approach, talking about a fixed m, all you need to do is for all the strings of length m, just calculate their frequencies. Just calculate their frequencies. Like let's say that this is the frequency p1, the first partition, frequency p2, and so on till frequency of pk, or maybe just say t1, t2, and so on. Yeah, we can just use the word t1, t2 till tk. If all of these are coming up to be equal, then answer should be equal to minimum of answer and m. You can initialize the answer as n initially, and eventually you will return answer at the end. Now the question is, will we check for each and every possible value of m? For which values of m should we check? By the way, for like whenever you check for any value of m, you will have a big of n time complexity for checking if it can be valid or not. And now talking about the possible values of m for which we should check, you know about one thing for a fact, that m into k should be equal to n, which implies that m is a divisor of n. Let me put up my laptop to charge. Yeah, so we know that m should be a divisor of n, and the value n is not so huge. N is at most 1e5. We like, this is something you should know. This is sort of a prerequisite, that if you want to find out all the divisors of n, you can do this thing very easily in square root n time complexity. I'm not going to explain it completely. This is a very standard thing. You can just search about it on internet if you want, how to find out all the divisors of n, any integer. So the idea is, from 1 to n, if there is a divisor of n, that is 2 here, then there will be a divisor n by 2. If there is a divisor 3 here, then there will be a divisor n by 3 somewhere. So if you find out all the divisors of n till square root n, let's say if you talk about, if you just run up a loop from m equal to 1 till m into m is less than equal to n, basically m will be less than equal to square root of n, then in case if m is a divisor, if m is a divisor, then n by m is also a divisor, right? N by like m into n by m equal to n, na? If m is a divisor, then n by m would also be a divisor. So you can just check for this value and for this value. Since you're having a loop of size only square root n, then like it means that you are just checking for 2 into square root n value, like maximum. You are just having a for loop of this size, and in every iteration of for loop you are checking for at most 2 strings, and in reality you won't check for even this many. For any n, generally we say that around cube root of n, like the number of divisors it will have is gonna be around cube root of n, uh, at least in order of it. And like most of the times what will happen is, for most of these values of m, n will not be a divisor, so you won't really have that big of n time complexity being running up. So in general the time complexity will be a lot better than this. But we can just say that in the worst case the time complexity is coming up to this n square root n, which will pass for n being less than equal to 105. And in general it would be a lot better than this. It would be something like n cube root n, I think, maybe 2 into like some constant factor as well. It would be somewhere around this. And as an upper bound we are just gonna be saying it as n square root n. Okay, very well. For any m we know how to check. We know for what values of m we should check, and that's it. Like we are good to go for code. So the way I coded it up is, I created a check function so that I won't have to write up the same logic 2 times. I'll just created a function, and in the function I will just put up a value m as an input, and I'm first of all figuring out, like first of all I'm calculating the frequency of all of the characters in the first substring of length n. I called it as Rick, like I called this frequency array as Rick here. After that, for all of the other substrings of length m, I calculated their frequencies and stored them inside a vector of integers with name count, and I just checked that if count and Rick are equal or not. So for every partition I'm just comparing its frequency with the first substring. If it is coming up equal every time, it is good to go, and if at any point it comes out to be unequal, then I will just return false, and at the end the answer will be true if it never fails. And here I'm having a for loop for m. I'm going on till m into m is less than equal to l, and in case if n does not is not a multiple of m, then we will continue. Otherwise we will check for m and for n by m, and wherever we get the answer we will just update the answer variable, and that's it. So the time complexity here should be, this loop will go big of square root n times, and this function works in big of n time. If you look at it, you are having a loop for the first m characters, then you are having a for loop of n by m size, which is having an inner loop of big of m size. So overall these loops in total will have only n iterations. So we have a big of n time complexity for the entire function, and